Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to the workshop of Oration 2024, the flagship event of the Gavel Club of University of Colombo for this year. Oration 2024 is an intra-university public speaking competition designed to ignite your passion for public speaking and provide a platform for the university undergraduates of University of Colombo to showcase their talent and eloquence with their words. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker for this workshop, distinguished Toastmaster Moditha Sendanayake. DTM Moditha is a professional with a wealth of experience in lecturing, training, human resources, and public speaking coaching. As a distinguished Toastmaster, he has held various leadership roles within Toastmaster International District 82, including Area Director and Division Director. With over a decade of experience, DTM Moditha has conducted numerous training sessions and keynotes, making a significant impact on inspiring speakers and leaders. DTM Moditha, we are extremely grateful to have you as our keynote speaker today, and we thank you for joining us despite your busy schedule. Without further ado, I'll hand over this virtual stage to DTM Moditha. Over to you, sir.
Right. Very good evening to all of you. Right. Thank you very much, Gavel Club, University of Colombo, for inviting me for this. University of Colombo Gavel Club is not a new place to me. For many years, I have been engaging and doing so many workshops, keynotes, and even training sessions, judging. I'm not supposed to reveal this, but I was there. So it's a pleasure to again be with you. And this time, to train or give that insight to the people who will be competing uh, as part of intra-university speech contest. So what is public speaking, why it is important, and what you should know when you are competing, and also expressing yourself through the speech. That is my key content here today. So thank you very much again for inviting me for the workshop. So continuously we'll be going through a very engaging session. I would like you to answer a few questions if you know. There's a disclaimer at the very outset. I would say there are no right or wrong answers in my sessions. That's a rule for me and for you as well. So you are free to speak, share your opinion, ideas. Even I might take certain few items from you, and maybe I'll be adding for the next upgrade of my slide deck. Who knows? So I'll put your name as well underneath that. And so let's go. Let me share my screen for you. Okay, I hope you can see this. A traditional question that I would like to ask at the normally we avoid in Toastmasters. We have been doing this for many years now since COVID time. Therefore, people say, "Don't please ask. Please don't ask. Am I audible or visible?" But it will be checked at the initial stage. So you continue. But I'll continue. All right. So speak to spark. That is the title of my keynote or at the workshop today. What is spark? Do we have any automobile enthusiasts here? Any automobile enthusiasts? I'm just throwing random single word here and there. Um, sorry, I do not know much of a Tamil language, just few words to impress few others people. That's it. So any automobile enthusiast, what is sparking? You know what is spark, right? Spark is essential for ignition. Am I right? Right. Okay, fine. So here I'm talking about speaking to spark. It can be a speech contest. It can be that you are delivering a speech in front of your audience, can be your faculty, wherever, right? Try to adopt this way of speaking to spark. What is speaking to spark? Let me elaborate it for you. These are some things that I learned during my journey of 10 years journey of Toastmasters. And I started my journey as debater, good old school days. Even after that higher studies, you engage in so many things, right? But when you go into Toastmasters, if you're a Toastmaster, even if you're not a Toastmaster or not even a Gavelier, that's totally okay. I'm just taking my experience to inspire you. So when you go into that level, you get that extra burden on yourself. But when you know how to speak to spark, you're not just speaking to a group of people. You are just doing it for a purpose, whether it's a contest or you are doing a keynote or whether you are sharing some ideas with your colleagues even. There you will be standing out. Therefore, let me share my formula, rather the elements of Speak into Spark, which will be the content of the workshop today for you to take your best version for the contest. Have you been in this situation? I don't want any answers, but you just think about yourself. If you are a Gavelier, the very first time that you went up on a stage and stood in front of an audience, maybe consist of your lecturers or maybe your friends, that's fine. Can you remember the very first time? The very first time would be maybe at school. Now, honestly, if I'm telling my experience, I started my public speaking journey back in grade 8. My school was a mixed school. That's a blessing in disguise. You have all these two genders to address and get their viewpoint and opinion as well. That's a different experience. Those who have been to mixed schools would know that. Well, with all due respect to others as well, you get that experience afterwards. Anyway, right now, its world has moved along. I was not a very eloquent speaker, even not in English. Just forget about English. Even my native tongue, which is Sinhala, right? I could share certain few ideas, and I was starting my debating journey back in school. But there was this particular segments, grade 6, 7, 8 assembly, section wise. So it rotation basis for one class, you will get one speech slot. So I was representing grade 8, and you know what happened? I was not at that time on that particular day. I was not present on the school in the school. In my absence, one of my good friends, within inverted commas, right? Good friends had nominated me when the teacher in charge of the assembly or the speech segment came to our class to select a person. The easiest thing would be not selecting the person who will be there, but nominating the person who is absent as a punishment, right? So there are two things. Now, unanimously, believe me, entire class unanimously found that I am absent, and then they nominated me. If they had a little bit of, at least a bit of a decency, they should have informed me that you are talking tomorrow in the assembly. I didn't know. I came to school. I was very happy. I knew that yes, today's assembly. I just went. Little did I know, when the announcer announced my name, the boy, I was about to faint. I didn't know what is happening. I got a shock of my life at that time. Grade 8, a very innocent poor kid. You imagine the situation of that kid. My father was a teacher doing advanced level mathematics, a very reputed teacher, because I had to preserve his honor. I can't say no. And my class, somehow I went up on stage. Even to date, I don't know how I went up on the stage, from my hands or feet or using all four limbs. I can't remember. It was that much painful, and I was scared. Somehow I uttered few words I can't even remember to date, and I just ran off. So this is being the experience for most of us, right? So that was me. Maybe just the first two may just can be you, but the third one is me. Now, what is public speaking? The golden question. Yes, people would fear this. That's a very common symptom. Then what is public speaking? Why it is important? Can anyone just share your opinion? As you know, as you have understood, what is public speaking? I don't need any definition. Just maybe just one single word. That's okay, fine. Who would like to share your idea? Just unmute and you can give your answer. There are no right or wrong answers. I would like to have some idea sharing, if possible. Cavaliers of the University of Colombo have that reputation of engaging so much right throughout the years. I have been there since 2014. I can keep saying going on and on. Okay, what is public speaking? What is your idea about public speaking?
Speak in front of an audience and share your influence your thoughts and some ideas about a particular topic.
Nice. Someone has done some research or initial homework before the session. I'll give 10 out of 10. Fine, that's good. Yes, that is one way of looking at it. Very good. Nice. Any other answers? Any other ideas? Just no, you can share. Right, let's go into this. One person addresses a group of listeners for a specific purpose. Very simple. But it is not simple as you see it, right? One person addresses a group of listeners for a specific purpose. Now use more formal language, louder volume and larger gestures. Now these are, because you will be doing this, you would have a large audience in this contest. I'm focusing on the contest right now. Now you need to have formal language. Now imagine when you're having off time in the corridors or whatever under trees, you have your leisure pots. You would have a lot of friends surrounding you, and you would share political views, what you ate for the breakfast, what happened with your girlfriend last time, whatever the ideas that you come to your mind, you will share it. That is not public speaking, because you are not using formal language. It's very convenient. You are addressing a very known audience. But here, in public speaking, especially for a contest, forget about the rules and regulations. I'll come to that later. You use more formal language, louder volume. Of course, you know how to shout it out. You will get a mic, but you have to use the louder volume and larger gestures. Gestures are what things that you do from your hand. I'm using my gestures, right? Why? I'll come later. Elements of public speaking. I'm not going to teach you about public speaking. I'm just getting a preamble to my workshop on public speaking, because it's about public speaking, even though it's a contest. Elements of public speaking. What are the elements of public speaking? Can you remember during your grade 9, 10, 11 period, even if you have done arts for grade 12, 13, that's valid even for that. There was this particular statement. I'll tell it in Sinhala. That's how it connects. ඡේදයක් වාක්‍යයක් දෙනවා ඊට පස්සේ දීලා අහනවා මේක පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහනවා මේ කා විසින් කාහට කවුරු ඉඳසා කුමන අවස්ථාවකදී කුමක් කරබයා කියන ලදද අවස්ථා සම්බන්ධ මතකද මේ කා විසින් කාහට කුමක් අරබයා කුමන අවස්ථාවකදී කෙසේ කිනම් මිට කියන ලදද. That was complete nonsense to me, because I was going through the Gamperli, because I'm coming from a good old era. Now, you can't just judge my age, because there was the particular time period that the Gamperli was the single literature lesson. But කවුරුන් කුමක් කරන බෑ කොමන අවස්ථාවක මොකක් කිව්වත් ඒක මට ඇති ප්‍රයෝජන කුමක්ද. I was thinking that way. But that is essential, some parts of public speaking. I didn't know about that, right? Simply, who is saying what, to who, using what medium, with what effect. If you break this down seriously, this sums up the real elements of public speaking. You are saying what? Let's take you as the contestants, right? You are saying something to an audience comprising of judges and your friends, using what medium? Mics and your auditoriums, with what effect? To communicate your message through the contest with the intent of winning it or taking part of it, in it. So this is very simple, but very important. You have to brief this. You have to break this down and identify why I'm doing this. This is part of public speaking, right? Now we have a very much clear understanding about the public speaking. So people find public speaking much more challenging than speaking one-to-one. Do you know the reason? Why people find public speaking very challenging than speaking one-to-one? Now, when you speak one-to-one, it's very easy to communicate, right? For example, if Noah is saying something to her very good friend, the best friend, very easy. But suddenly, Noah gets surrounded by 30, 40 people. And then, yes, definitely she will have the courage and the confidence. But at the very first instance, what happened? You just stuck, right? So it's very difficult for some people to communicate into that effect. So let's see the situation. I have been in this situation during my corporate life. I'll tell my some of my experiences, because after this workshop, not after in the sense, after the slide deck, I'll be sharing certain things to give you that assurance that you would do a better job than me. So I was just like this. This is a known thing throughout the world. This is a fear of public speaking, simply stage fright. You have several synonyms or rather similes for this. People, they are afraid of going in front of an audience. Some people rather would love to die than going in front of an audience. Have you ever heard these types of things? Some people are afraid of insects, spiders especially. Some people, they are afraid of the enclosed places like lift. They can't go inside the lift because the moment that 5 or 6 people get inside, that person gets shivering. They start shivering, right? That particular fear. What are these things? මේවට කියන නමක් තියෙනවා. That's a special word. අර හැම බයක් අගටම එන නමක් තියෙනවා. මොකක්ද මේ? කියන්න බලන්න.
Phobias?
Phobia. Yes, of course, phobia. Fear of light, aerophobia, fear of heights, fear of enclosed places, claustrophobia, fear of insects, arachnophobia. මේකත් phobia එකක්. This is also phobia. This is called glossophobia. The fear of public speaking or of speaking in general. Very simple, right? Large portion of the entire world suffers from this, right? These are proven facts. 74% of people suffer from speech anxiety. That's another word. Now, let me tell you, I do a lot of public speaking workshops and corporate training as well with aligning towards these subjects. So the very first thing that I ask, as soon as I go in front of an audience, whether it's in Sinhala or English, whatever, I ask a simple question from them. Raise your hand this very moment. If you don't feel anything, any fear, even a tiny amount of anxiety, if I invite or request you to come on stage right now, at this moment, and to share something, I'll give you a topic, very easy one, maybe some of your favorite ones. But if you don't feel that little bit of even a bit of anxiety, as soon as I invite you, if you think that you don't have at all, raise your hand. I don't know, thus far, for some reason, no one has ever raised their hands. If anyone raised the hand, I would go to that person and touch the feet. Either he's not human, a divine being, or a creature from hell, I don't know, animal. Because if humans, they have this. We have this. We have this fear. This fear should be there to continue our life, our human race. Fear of unknown things. Suddenly we need to react. So thing is, what we do, what we have been doing, or what we are training right now is to identify how we can channel this fear to produce a better result. Rather than just getting rid of it, how to control it. You may not be able to completely get rid of it, but I'll tell you how to control it. There are ways of controlling it through precise mechanisms. So that is also part of this workshop. So I'll tell you how to do it. Now remember, if you feel, අයියෝ මට තමයි මේ බය තියෙන්නේ අනිත් ඔය ඉන්න 25 දෙනා නම් මොකද ඒගොල්ලෝ නම් හුඟක් කතා කරනවනේ මට බයයි. No, you are also part of the normal human being, human culture, human society. They are also part of this society. It's within us. Get that realization. The moment you get that realization, you feel මමත් මේ කාණ්ඩ කෙනෙක්. So then let's see how we can improve this through a systematic process. Symptoms of the stage fright. What happens when you get the stage fright? Tell me. Symptoms, රෝග ලක්ෂණ. මොනවද වෙන්නේ කියලා එකපාරට ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නව නේද? Symptoms of the stage fright. Simply, what happens when you go on a stage?
You start sweating.
You start sweating. That is one. Okay. What else? It's like just one symptom at a time, at a moment.
Sometimes you start shivering, like trembling.
Shivering. Yes. Shivering, sweating.
Your heartbeat faster.
Heartbeat එක නවතිනවද නැත්නම් මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ?
වේගය වැඩි.
Increases. Okay. That's a cardiac arrest, right? You need to call medical faculty. Fine. Okay, that's spot on. Yes. What else? I'm kidding here, right here and there. Just don't worry about it, right? I just, even if the answer is very brutal, correct, I would answer the question again and again. I'll do that just for the purpose of having that engagement, and it's nice. What else? Okay, you sweat, you sure, your heartbeat goes up. What else?
You forget what you wanted to say.
අමතක වීමේ රෝගය තියෙනවා, right? එකපාරටම අමතක වෙනවා. You get that. There was a very famous person who had that, but you are also getting that. Yes. What else? තව මොනවද වෙන්නේ? හොඳම ටික වෙලා නෑනේ.
Mental stress peaked.
Huh?
Mental stress peaked. That means get high mental stress.
I couldn't get that clearly. Sorry.
Mental stress peaked. That means the person get high mental stress.
Right. Okay. Yes. That's fine. What else?
You start stuttering.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. තමන්ට වෙච්ච දේ හිතන්නකෝ. That's fine. Okay. But I'm about to show everything has happened to me, right? I'm not saying that I'm completely out of that, but I know how to control it. Even a tiny bit is there, I know how to control it, right? Your heart rate goes up, increased heart rate. Normally it should be like between, what is the normal rate? 70, 72, I don't know. I can't even remember my grade 9. I did mathematics for A level, so I can't remember. Well, let's say 70, 72, it goes up to 150, 160. You feel your heartbeat in your ears, right? It's like a machine. And then butterflies in the stomach. Butterflies in the stomach? Literally? Bear Grylls would say the same, literally. You know Bear Grylls, right? Animal Planet, who eats butterflies. He would say a butterfly in the stomach. Literally, that is right for him. But here, what is butterflies in the stomach?
Being nervous.
Yes, being nervous. What happens? Mokada making කියන්නේ. Someone we don't know. There's a sensation. Imagine when you are driving, or when you are in the front seat or the back seat, right? Back seat. When you drive on a very plain road and suddenly there's a drop, right? If you have traveled on air, there are air pockets in aeroplane, right? When aeroplane travels through that, there's a sudden drop and up. What happens to your belly? But cool sensation is there. That is called butterflies in stomach. Now, this sensation can be controlled. There's a very beautiful saying. I don't know who said that, but I use it every time that I do a workshop. You can't get rid of these butterflies completely, but we can teach you how you can form, how you make these butterflies fly in formation, so that you do a better job and your speech will be beautiful. You can't completely get rid of them, but you know how to teach them to fly in formation. So that is what we need to do. Uncontrollable shake, hands are shaking, lips are shaking. That's a normal symptom, right? And dizziness. We are going into the most difficult part, dizziness. You go on stage, you see 3,000, 4,000 in front of you, maybe 300, 400, that's fine. You get the dizziness, you feel faintish, you go just, lean backward. If somebody is there, they will catch, and then otherwise you will land flat on face. Something will happen. Okay, that simply dizziness. And then the need to go to washroom. This happened to me when I delivered my very first corporate presentation, because for two reasons. Number one, I started my journey as a software engineer. That's a separate story many years ago, 15 years ago. When I was doing my very first corporate journey, I had to deliver this technical speech to an audience of 50, 60, comprising of IT and financial. IT guys are in love with the finance people. When you see their faces, you feel overwhelming. And I was looking, and to my misery, the head of the finance was there with that beautiful face frame. And as soon as I saw that person, everything went blank. And I did something, I can't remember, but the thing I remember, actually, I went right after that to the washroom. That happens, right? A normal thing, bowel movements. And thirst or dry mouth. These are the symptoms. These are the symptoms. So get that realization. We are in this phase. This happens to us. That's a normal thing. So So don't worry about it. If you get these things, don't worry about it. Now, have you ever heard this quote? A good speech should be like a woman's skirt, long enough to cover the subject and short enough to create interest. Now, this has been overused. Let me give the opportunity of using it again. So I'm using it again. A good speech should be like a woman's skirt, long enough to cover the subject and short enough to create interest. Then don't ask me further elaboration on the clarification as to what should be the length and what should be the, with all due respect to the ladies. So this has been uttered by, great Winston Churchill. Who was Winston Churchill?
He was a prime minister of UK.
Absolutely, it's spot on. Wartime prime minister who changed the dynamics of the war, because UK was like on the fence whether to go to the World War or not. When they were getting the hammering by the Germans, still they were, arguing sake of democracy. But this person, through his oratory skills, is one of the greatest debaters in the political arena that you can ever find. Go and listen. Maybe just, it's a bit slow sometimes, bit different, but he can persuade people through his words. And then he changed the mindset. Britain, UK went in the war, and that was a decisive decision. Right. So he said this. Now, yes, we said so many things about the public speaking, the importance, then, understanding what are the symptoms, realizing that's a part of our body and the system, the chemistry. You can say all these things, but when it comes to writing the speech for the contents, what matters the most? The idea that comes to your head, right? So that is what is coming to your head. Initially, what happens? Nothing comes to your head. You're empty. Suddenly, out of nowhere, maybe you are traveling, or mostly when you are having a shower, it happens, right? I don't know the scientific relationship between that, but when you are near a water source, or maybe you are just having a shower, some world-changing ideas are coming to your head. Make sure that you have something to write it down. So there's a fact as well. So then you start writing, and then you have something on the paper. But this is not a practice that I'm giving you the proper way of doing it. How to formulate an idea for the contest, since you are getting ready for the contest. Now I gave you the background for the public speaking, communication aspect of it, and realizing what we have. I'm delivering this through these main 4 areas: purpose, audience, speech organization, impact. Purpose, audience, speech organization, and impact. Right. Let me come to the purpose first. Let me, if I ask you, I'll be taking Gavel's slide. Fine. What is the purpose of organizing this speech contest? Or like intra-university speech contest?
To make sure that everyone has the opportunity to showcase their skills in public speaking.
Golden. Yeah, okay, that's the purpose. What is my purpose of delivering this speech? Yeah, I have to answer, right? You know the purpose. I'm doing a workshop for you, for empower you to do a better job. Just like that, we need to make sure that we know the purpose. There are in Toastmasters, in Toastmasters training sessions, in that arena, we talk about 4 main purposes. Even in Gavel, that's the normal way. People can come up with some other purposes as well, but largely there are 4 purposes. Can anyone tell me what are these 4 purposes? General purpose, right? There are 2 things, general purpose and the specific purpose. But let's talk about the general purpose, since there are people, they just got into this arena, then they need to know the very essentials, and that is well enough. Knowing the basics would be more than enough for this. You don't have to go into technical things. Right? If you do the basics really well, you have a great chance of showcasing your talent to the next level. So what are the purposes of a speech, as you know?
To inform something about to others.
Let's see. Okay, to inform something about to others. Good. Any other thing? Other purpose?
An audience.
Sorry, Noha?
To move an audience.
To move an audience. Right. You are just combining few there. If you would be a bit specific on this, moving in the sense, what is your intention? I'm just having a little bit of clarification over the discussion. Moving in the sense, if you could elaborate a little bit.
To make them feel something, an emotion.
Okay, you are getting there. All right, I'll take it as well. Let's park it for the moment. Inform and to move.
To persuade an idea to an audience.
Persuasion.
To entertain an audience.
Any other thing? Okay, let's see. Absolutely spot on. These are the four, right? To inform. What I'm doing right now, I'm doing a workshop. I'm doing a keynote, or rather, I'm doing a lecture. My purpose is to inform you on the importance of public speaking in that way. We call these categories informative speeches. To inform is one purpose. Second one is to persuade. Persuade, what is persuasion? You make somebody else to you request or you persuade others to get your viewpoint, act upon your viewpoint. For example, if I do a speech or any workshop, even a campaign to realize that avoid polythene, plastic, avoid plastic. But I'm persuading them to remove their habit of using plastic. Calling to action, making them to adopt my viewpoint. That's a little bit of push. Persuasion is there. Then inspiration. So is there any difference between inspiration and the persuasion? People would say largely those are the same, like, the either side of the railroad, but there's a like maybe the DNA, like intertwined DNA, but there's a difference. Persuade is calling to action, making somebody else to accept your viewpoint, take your viewpoint and adopt to that. That is the push that you do. Inspiration is to motivate, elevate them to be the best version that they can be, to achieve noble ideas and noble perceptions. So that is inspiration. They elevate them. One of the greatest inspirational speeches that I have ever heard in my life goes back to 1950s, where the civil rights movement was there in USA. Because at that time, the black people who were having the African American origin was regarded as like lesser than the human race. That was a complete chaotic political era. And then rather than just fighting out, there was this person who inspired not only the black people, but millions of white individuals, ultimately changed the entire American society because of his impact and the effort. Finally, we had a black American president. Now it's here and there, you can see, but largely it's resolved. He said, I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will live in a nation where they will be not judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. See the words and the inspiration that you get. You get goosebumps, not to fight, but to fight with that spirit, not physically, that intention, ideas. It was none other than great Martin Luther King Jr. who changed the entire dynamics, right? So that is inspiration. Entertainment. What are the entertainment speeches that you have seen? If you can recall. Can anybody tell? දැකලා තියෙනවද entertainment speeches? Yes, if you go to near Diyavannava, there's the designated place that you have entertaining speeches. Then let's forget about that. But other than that, there are entertaining speech categories like stand-up comedies, you know the stand-up comedians, right? Pete Russell's. But there's a difference between the entertainment category that I am talking about with regard to the public speaking, because you use certain, words, ideas, very open, harsh, vulgar sometimes, but that's okay for that audience. That's a part of it, right? But what we focus on the classic entertaining ideas like comedy or other humorous speeches, you would understand these things much later. But there's a category called entertaining speech, like after dinner speech. In USA, the president's dinner speech, you find that very humorous ones are there. So largely we have four purposes: inform, persuade, inspire, and entertain. Now the second one, the audience. Now you have four purposes, out of which you can select one. You can build your speech around that. If you want to inspire the audience to give your message through your speech, content speech, you will have to do that. If you want to inform something, you need to do that. You have to persuade, you have to do that. You can blend it, right? But make sure that you are very clear on the purpose. What is your purpose of the speech, large purpose of the speech? Most people go with inspiration and persuasion because those are the speeches you can deliver better for these types of contests. So I would recommend that for you as well. Audience, what do you know about audience? Now, what do you see in this audience? I selected this particular photo. You can find largely all types of audience members here. Some people are distracted, some are sleeping, some are just mind blowing, this glued to the speech. Some people, they have their own internal discussions. Some are using phones, right? Take with the audience members. Now, this is the reality of the world. When we speak, we can't get the perfect, the ideal, the exemplary audience that we would expect. Reality is much different, right? You have to expect that as well. I'll give you 2 or 3 classic examples from out of my own experience. Number one, when you go in front of an audience, for example, if you deliver some line that you would expect laughter or reaction from the audience, you are not getting it. What happens? Honestly, you get upset, right? These people, they're supposed to laugh or just give that reaction. Something like that, maybe surprise, but they are not giving it. Have I done it correctly? Oh, these are idiots in the audience. What happened? So when you are in this thought process, audience will be there, but your speech go out of the context, right? It is derailed because you are, while delivering, after a year or maybe months, the days of practice, you are delivering it. While you are delivering, just because of the audience reaction was not there, your speech is going out of line because you are having another stream of thoughts. Mokaduni, these things are happening inside your brain, right? Don't allow that. If you're not getting the expected output or the outcome of the audience, don't forget about it. Just move as nothing has happened. You move with the next part. That's totally okay. Imagine the audience is not capable enough to grasp your idea. That's fine. So, but we need to focus a lot on the audience. Why? We need to do a small analysis on the audience. At this time, you know what type of audience members will be there. What are the members or the criteria of this audience that you will get for your contest? Number one, your faculty members, so the friends, Gavel members, organizing committee, judges. They are supposed to be anonymous. They will be anonymous, and you would see they're coming with the blazers. You will identify it, right? Okay, and some other members, even lecturers, the vice chancellor, and the special guests. It's pretty. Maybe 75% of the people you know. Therefore, it's kind of a familiar audience. They're lucky for you. But when you deliver a public speech, you need to do the audience analysis. I'll tell you what happened to one of my good friends. Now, my friend is like a community leader. He was delivering a speech to an audience at Royal College Union Center, RCU. He was delivering a speech about social integrity or something like that. He was part of a civil movement. And audience was nicely attracted to his speech. And he was about to deliver a content about, how you identify people and, make that connection with the individuals, blah, blah, blah. And he took this example of having different dialects in different parts of the country. Now, if we take Sinhala, right, for example, even Tamil. Now you have different dialects, North and Patti in the central hill country, dialects are different in Tamil. And in Sinhala, you have northeastern different type, different intonation, and then say hill country and western province, and down south a different country, no. So people say that down south a different country, that's really okay. So he was taking this down south as an example, saying having a little bit laughter, not mocking, but taking some hilarious examples to create some interest. Now he was expecting the audience will be laughing and engaging. It's an engaging tool, right? Having laughter and creating some appropriate humor. You know what happened? Nobody, majority didn't laugh. They were like frowning. They were looking like this. Now my friend was completely shocked. I was practicing this a lot. I delivered spot on. What happened? But he didn't do the audience analysis. Majority of the audience from the down south. Majority of the audience is from down south. Southern people. Would they love that their dialect is being mocked? Or are they making fun out of it? No, right? So he had to do a lot of damage recovery after that. After that, people, they understood it. But at that particular moment, he got that reaction there itself. Therefore, we need to do the audience analysis a lot. We call this demographics, age, gender, what they already know about subject they are going to speech, and their intentions, what type of background that they will have. These are demographic variables that we need to look at when we are considering an audience. For this, that you don't have to do much on this because you know already what type of audience will be there. Only thing that you need to do proper understanding on the judging criteria. I'm pretty sure the Gavel team, the organizer, will definitely give you a session on that, or rather understanding on what would be the judging criteria. That is key area for you. So audience, very important. Now the next thing, speech organization. We talked about the audience, and before that the purpose. Now speech organization. First thing, as I told you at the beginning, selecting a topic that is bit challenging. For some people it's huge. Right? What are the criteria of selecting a topic? Topic is the theme. On what are you going to talk about? That's the difference between topic and the title. Topic is the theme or the idea that you are going to talk about. The title is the title that you are giving to the speech. The title itself should be very interesting, attractive, so that people, as soon as they hear the title, they have that initial engagement or the connection from the audience. Example, one of the award-winning Toastmasters, one of my very good friends from FTC Toastmasters Club, who went up to India as district finalist. He was like horizontally very enriched, vertically challenged person. I'll put it in that way. So his speech was about something, finding something on his own, which was like an eye-opener. So he deliberately put these two words as the speech title. Normally, I need to figure out what is happening. So figure out. He told the contest master, the person who is announcing the topic and the name of the person, say these two words with a small pause in between. Figure out. Mr. ABC, figure out. Figure out, Mr. ABC. So after telling that, when that person like a moving continent goes up on the stage, what will happen? People start laughing like nothing. There itself, he won 25% of the contest. These are tips and techniques, if you would like to do, right? Proven and trusted, tested, and proven. So select your topic, the theme. So there are something called topic generators. Discussions you have had, family, co-workers, your friends, university friends. I often get this complaint when I tell some of my mentees whom I'm training to come up with good topics. And I don't have any good topics. I don't know how to find a topic. So I just text with these things. Discussions that you have had. magazines or newspapers or whatever that you have been going through. Your everyday experience, this is number one for me, my life experiences. Your expertise on certain topics, these are gold mines. You don't have to put your head වෙනමම ගිහිල්ලා හාරලා research කරන්න ඕනේ. Just something much closer to your heart that will move the audience. Somebody said the word. Somebody say that moving audience. If there's an experience that you can take as the material for your speech to move the audience, that's your topic. It can be discussions that you have had with your family co-workers. If you're working with just, in this case, it's your university friends. The details that you have been going through, your expertise on certain topics, because one of my research areas since my childhood is World War I and World War II. So if you get any topics on this, I can just, from left to right, I can tell because I know it. I love that. I'm passionate about it. If you are passionate on something, select that. If it is worthy for the audience, if you think that is worthy for the audience, for you to share and to, share the idea, go for that, my dear friends. Immediately go for that. That is your formula, right? Everyday experience. Be sure the topic is not too broad, something which is passionate, move the audience. And timely one. There's a condition, timely in the sense, if you feel that is okay, that's fine. Because some people get very obsolete, outdated, repeated things. And then as soon as they start, judges feel, I have heard the same concept, so let me hear it again. So it goes like just another ordinary speech. Relevant for your audience, yes. What will move your audience? What you would think that will move your audience? These are topic generators. My number one, if you ask me, my own life experiences, things that has happened to me, eye-opening moments, which I can share for the value of the audience, which I can move my audience so that I can get some advantage through that. Speech outline, next one. Under speech organization, first the topic, then the outline. You have to fill the outline. You can't just, අපිට පටන් ගත්ත ගමන් පළවෙනි වචනෙන් දැන් අර AI එකෙන් අර chat GPT එකෙන් ගහනවා වගේ ලියවෙන්නේ නැහනේ. අපි තාම ඒ level එකේ නැහැ. So we have to fill the outline. So what happens? You have to list all the key points. A idea when the idea comes to your head, certain key points will splash in the head. You have to write it down. Take a paper, write it down. And then arrange them in order and expand the points. Basic outline method. This is exactly just like what you prepare a meal. The meal එකක් හදද්දී මොකද මේක ලස්සන්ට මේ තසින් වලට දීසි වලට මේ ටික දාගෙන ලස්සන්ට මේ සුට්ටර ගෙනහල්ලා අර කුකරි ෂෝ එක වගේ මෙහෙම හදන්නේ නැහනේ. අර බෝතලයක් ගියා මේක ගත්තා මේක මෙහෙම කැඩුවා දැම්මා අර එහෙමනේ යන්නේ. අතර අහුවෙච්ච පාරට දාගෙන යනවා ඊට පස්සේ හදනවා. That's fine. That's just doing the same thing in different ways. But first you have to arrange the ingredients and then put them in order, because some things you have to put them in order. දැම්මට පස්සේ තමයි අවශෝෂණය වෙලා absorb වෙලා ඊළඟ එක ඒ රසට එන්නේ, right? And then you need to do expansion as well. So this is an example. So that is how you create the outline. And then to order the ideas, these are the outlining techniques. I just briefly go through this. Right? Chronological, arranged by time. For example, if I deliver a speech about myself, like introducing myself, what in Gavel or in Toastmasters, we have this icebreaker, right? So what has happened the day I was born, and then you went to school, high school, and the university, mehemai. So arranged by the time, just like the life cycle of a frog, right? You go on a chronological way. And then causal, which is a cause and effect relationship. You mention cause and the effect. Bluntly, මෙහෙම cause and effect එක දානම ඒක වටේ තමයි හදන්නේ. Cause and effect. Then comparative. You compare certain things with and contrast with some similar examples. Like in 1990s, people were slim and healthy. The TV they were much fatter, like CRTs. Now nowadays it has become very flat and people has become fatter. Something like compare and contrast. So you go with a comparative narrative. Topical. This is the most commonly used, most easiest, I would say, for people to follow. Topic, subtopic. Topic, subtopic. Again, portion. don't take so many subtopics because you have Netmi, what is the time period that you have allocated for this speech? Is it 4 to 5 or 5 to 7? What is the time allocation?
So it's from 6:30 to 7:30.
No,
No,
it's asking for the
Speech
speech. It's 5 to 7.
Sorry, my clarification,
Sorry.
communication clarification. Sorry for that. Yeah,
Yes, it's 5 to 7 minutes.
5 to 7 minutes. So if you take, that's fine, Netmi, thanks. If you take like 10 to 15 topics, you do a keynote then. You have to find like 3 to 4 major topics. Otherwise, when you include many points, people would, I mean, audience would find difficult to follow all the points because grasp everything. Within 5 to 7 minutes, you have to seal the deal, right? So that I would say maybe just 3 points would be elaboration would be enough. And then problem solution. That is, these are outlining techniques. Rule of 3. I know most of you know these, but this is very important. That's why I'm telling this. Because there will be individuals who have not gone through this. What is this? What is this? What is this? Guys, tell me. You know better than me, right? This is your daily meal, at least.
The sandwich structure.
You utter the technical term. I'm asking what. What is this? Simply say. Make that come.
Burger.
Burger, right? McDonald's burger. Yes, burger. So, would you call this a burger if the meaty part is right on top? Like you have the top layer with seeds, and then meats, and then underneath the lower layer of the bread. That is a burger. If you have the 2 layers of the bread underneath, and then the stack of meat on top of that, would you call a burger? Would you call it a burger? පාම් පෙති මේ පාම් පෙති දෙක යටින් කළ ඊට උඩින් ඔක්කොම ටික සලාද කොළයි මේ චීස් ඔක්කොම ටික මස් ටික උඩින් තිබ්බහම මේක මෙහෙම තිබ්බහම මේක බර්ගර් එකක්ද ඒක? No, it's no longer a burger. It's something else. Maybe masroti. I don't know. But it should be a burger because there's a structure. Just like that. There's a structure for the speech as well. Opening, body, and the conclusion. Opening is the initial starting point of your speech. It can be like few sentences. You are stepping into the speech, right? And the body, not your body, the speech body, the rich content. Finally, the conclusion, the lower layer. Now, if you can see, opening is like 25% of the entire speech, roughly, maybe 20. Conclusion is like the same, even lesser than that. But the large part is the body. So this is the ideal parallel thing that I can draw, ideal symbol that I can give you for the speech organization. Very simple, memorable, but impactful. Now, how we can develop an opening? There can be several ways. අපිට හොඳ ස්පීච් එකකට ආරම්භයක් සන්තුවන් කරන්න පුළුවන් හොඳ ක්‍රම මොනවද? The key is that you have to create that interesting opening with that connection with the audience. How you could do this? There are ways of doing it. Starting question, right? Challenging, interesting statement, appropriate quotation, displaying an object or picture. First 2 things, I'll give you a combined example. Have you watched 2015 World Champion of Public Speaking, Mohammed Katani's speech? If not, go to YouTube after my keynote or other workshop. Type 2015 World Championship of Public Speaking winning speech, Mohammed Katani. When you WCPS 2015 like okay. Now he started, that is the biggest stage of public speaking where Dhananjay won previous year, won Sri Lankan, and Saudi Arabia, Mohammed Katani won afterwards. And he starts with, he took a cigarette rather, and just, he was about to light it up. And then people were, are you crazy? Are you going to light a cigarette on this stage? And he was expecting for that moment, he was like, what? And he goes and saying a very challenging, interesting statement, and then starting question. So he had like 1, 2, 3 out of these 4. I'm not encouraging you to take a cigar and light it on the stage. Don't go into that level. I mean, these are certainly pros are doing it, but just to give you a glimpse of it. So starting question, like I'm going on stage. I'm starting it up. Ladies and gentlemen, what if I tell you the entire thing that you have been thinking about the relationship of a family is completely wrong, and you don't have to fall in love to make good family. Rather, you want to have some opposite views and contradictions to take it very smoother so that your family will be very strong. Means very contradictory statement. And then that's a perfect opening. You may continue with something related thing, but you are taking that interest out of the audience and you are hooking that to the audience as well. So starting question we call rhetorical question, where you would not expect an answer in return. Again, ප්‍රශ්නාර්ථයක් නගනවා ස්පීච් එක මේව කරන්න. You are not expecting an audience answer. කවුරු හිටියොත් උත්තරයක් දුන්නොත් yes or no කියලා you continue, that's fine. You don't want to engage in a conversation, but challenging, interesting statement, right? Avoid weak openings. Here, it's a broad perspective I have touched. In your contest speaking, you don't have to, say, hi everyone, good afternoon, I'm here to do my speech contest. No, never. You go there and you deliver the topic. Anyway, you have given the topic, and the topic and the name will be read out, and you go on stage and start your speech like, that with that confidence. So starting question, challenging, interesting statement, appropriate quotation, displaying an object or a picture or whatever we call prop would be a nice way of opening the speech. Drafting the body, the content, supporting ideas, points, and explanation, statistics, facts, examples, stories, visual aids, experiences, right? Whatever that you can grab, you can put accordingly. Now, for the sake of having a very rich content, you don't put all these 5 categories. It will be like I don't know, complete mess sometimes. You appropriately, you will do it, right? You include stories, visual aids if necessary. You share your experiences. You put all these materials inside the speech. And the conclusion, final bit. You do this speech to communicate something. Yes, you have very rich opening, nice content, and final conclusion, but that's the theme of what is your intent of doing this purpose. Through inspiration, I want to share that I have come across a lot of adversities, a lot of challenges, but through this, because of that, I was able to come this far. Therefore, I would like to encourage all of you to take that courage, and you have a message, right? You deliver it at the end. So that's it. You convey your message in a very inspirational and persuasive way. You reinforce your ideas, leave listeners with a lasting impression, call to action if necessary, and you maybe some people they end with a quotation. One example, you can say once Mahatma Gandhi said, "Not all the people," something that. You can say, so ladies and gentlemen, I would believe that you will follow the same words uttered by Mahatma Gandhi so that you can live a better life in this world. Something like that. So, memorable statement. The key is giving that punch at the end. Because the lasting impression will create that additional inspiration, that punch within the minds of the audience, and most importantly, within the judges as well. Because they would judge according to the criteria whether you had that lasting impression at the end message. So that you have to consider. That is the conclusion. Simple structure: opening, attention grabbing, introduction, body, supporting ideas, closing, conclusion, final message. 3 parts, like the burger. Simple. So why are we doing this? What are the benefits of well-organized speech for the audience? Right? Easier to understand. What are done lazy? Then it is easy to grasp, digest. People know what you're talking about. They can be with you. They are thoroughly living in your world created by you. Easier to remember. They will take the message home. They know what you said. Even tomorrow, if I ask what this one said, oh, sir, he said something about this that still resonates in my mind. Easy to remember, more credible. When your speech is well organized, you would perceive as a credible speaker, your speech will go as a credible speech. So that authenticity is there. You perceived as more knowledgeable and believable because there's no rambling or disjoint places in your speech. Right? Finally, people will enjoy that. They would enjoy your speech. Enjoy in the sense, not laugh and entertain, but they will live in your speech. Okay. So sample of speech structure, just for your understanding: opening, body, and conclusion. This is the summary of the third point, speech organization. I'm still talking about the third one. Just one more to go. So here it is. Now, this just a summary of what we have been talking so far. Now, I told you, if I recommend a way for you to have that added advantage for your speech, try the inspirational speaking method. You inspire the audience. Try to inspire the audience through your ideas. So how to inspire audience? You know what is purpose, how to find the purpose. Now, you know the purpose. You found the topic. You know how to organize it really well. You know what type of audience members will be there. And then, in order to add the inspiration, what would you do? What is inspirational speaking? A speech delivered to motivate the audience to improve themselves personally, emotionally, spiritually, professionally. So here you make the move them personally, emotionally, even spiritually in this context. In some other arenas, it's professional as well. Now, how people get inspired? That's the question. කොහොමද මිනිස්සු inspire වෙන්නේ? මේක inspire කරන්න අමාරු වෙන මොකක් වෙලාවට මිනිස්සුන්ගේ ලේසි නෑ. How people get inspired? As ordinary people, you and me, how we will get inspired? Can anyone tell me what inspires you the most? Just a small fact check. How people get inspired? How you would get inspired the most? මොනවා ලැබුණොත් මොනවා වුණාමද ඔයගොල්ලෝ inspire වෙන්නේ වැඩිපුර? If I ask this from a professional or a person who is working, if I get good appraisal rate from my boss, yes, I will be very inspired. If I get a pay raise, I will definitely be inspired. I would put my heart, soul, sweat, and blood to my office. They will say, yes. So how people will get inspired? ඔගොල්ලෝ inspire වෙන්නේ නැද්ද? You are not getting inspired, you are getting fired. How people get inspired?
So when the speaker's ideas resonate with my own ideas, then it's easier to get inspired.
Nice answer, yes. හරියටම bandwidth එකේ tally වෙනවා නම්, එයාගේ idea මගේ idea එකත් එක්ක හරියටම match වෙනවා නම්, resonate වෙනවා නම්, ඒකත් එක්ක යනවා නම්, it goes along my ideas, then immediate අර සමාන සංඛ්‍යාත වගේ තමයි. So then, get connected and it resonates, add up, it adds up, and then amplified. So what else? There are 3 ways people get inspired. I'll be taking additional 10 minutes, Netmi. I hope that would be okay since we started around. Would it be okay?
It's perfectly fine, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Inspired by the speaker, inspired by the content, inspired by the delivery. How people get inspired by the speaker? Through the credibility. Now, if person perceived as a credible speaker through his appearance and when he appears on the stage, if people can believability, we say credibility, that is one way of inspiring audience. And then believability, it's the second one, right? And simplicity and the humbleness. You need to be very simple and humble on stage, so people will definitely get into your bandwidth. Well-planted nature, which means you do sort of practice and you are familiar with your on the stage, and you act as a well-planted, very humble character, appropriately doing the speech, Definitely, people will inspired by your caliber. Experience from audience perspective. You get experience which can be moved from the audience perspective as well, right? Now, how inspired by the content? Personal experience, my number one. You can motivate or inspire audience through your personal experiences, gold mine. Relatable stories, right? Lofty goals like high ideas, and only positives. You don't share negatives. Now, somebody might ask, okay, sir, I have been in a very negative situation. Can I share that to inspire the audience? Yes, of course. But if you take people down with your negative in the sense some sad emotions, you have to take them up at the end through your positivity as well. Or else if you put that negative එකේ අනේ මට මෙහෙම වුණා මට ඊළඟ සතියේ මෙහෙම වුණා ඊළඟට මගේ පූසමෙන් තුණා ඔය විතර ඔහොම ඔක්කොම වෙලා අන්තිම ඩීප් එකටම ගිහිල්ලා යන්තම් පොඩ්ඩක් කඩියක් විතර උඩට ආවට පස්සේ that is not enough. If you take them down with emotions which might be necessary for your speech to create that setup and to share what you are going through, you have the equal responsibility of taking them up to the elevation where you leave people with that positivity, energy, and that punch. තේරෙනවද? බින්දර දැම්මනම් ලින්ක් කටින්ම කොට ගන්න ඕනේ. Simple as that. Ability to create a vision for the future, right? And then people inspired by delivery. When you appear sincere through the delivery, when the connection is there with the audience, when you believe in your own speech, I will add something else as so believe and enjoy your own speech. I will elaborate this a little bit at the end. And when you have the energy and the enthusiasm, when you have emotion arousing expressions and spontaneity, you would definitely nail the audience and the delivery as well. So you know how people get inspired by the speaker now, you know how people get inspired by the content now, and you know how people get inspired by the delivery. So my dear students or friends, you know the all the variables of the formula now, X, Y, Z, everything. So try on this, right? Now, having this idea in your mind, I'll give you how to deliver the inspirational speech. First, you have to survey the situation, which is actually about your speech. You have to put it accordingly. And then select a powerful theme, which is the topic. You survey in the sense you put all the facts and you select the theme afterwards. You assess everything. Okay, then you have put all the, you get what is the most suitable theme. And then you collect material for that particular one. Assess and then you survey, then you find the theme. To fulfill that theme, you get all the materials, experiences, memories, dialogues, everything. And then you view a storyline. And then you deliver with passion. This is formula. Survey, and then you find the powerful theme. You collect all the materials. After getting all the materials, you weave a beautiful storyline and deliver with passion. In between, you have to rehearse, practice, everything's there, right? Okay, this is how you can deliver an inspirational speech. Right, so I'll be just moving out of from the slides just after this because I want to share something. Once a person said it's best to do things systematically since we are only humans, and disorder is our worst enemy because we are human, we are prone to do mistakes. Therefore, when we do things systematically, we can avoid any chaotic situations because disorder is our worst enemy. That is why we do workshops to understand why public speaking is important, how to do it properly, and preparing for the contest through the understanding of having a good structure for the speech. This was said by his ancient Greek poet, because Greek philosophers, poets, and intellectuals are the fathers of public speaking and debating theories. They laid the foundation. Their ideas have been evolved. If you take, there are 3 areas of debating, even speaking: ethos, pathos, and logos. These 3 Greek words talk about the logic and the delivery and the matters that surrounds with the public speaking. So the other one is the impact. Before going into the impact, I would share it in this way. Impact, which is inspirational delivery. And how would you do it? I will share my own experience to tell you what kind of mindset that you need to have to deliver your contest speech. You know how to get ready for that. You know that you need to practice. You do rehearsal. You create the organization of the speech and you add humor and laughter. The story is there. You add your experience and blend it together. You do it. How to add the humor, how to add the story, that's a separate subject. But I hope that you will get along with that while you are moving on the process. But the mindset is the most important thing when you are competing. Let me share what happened to me. So I joined Toastmasters back in 2013. I was a corporate individual at that, just like today. I was like maybe 6 or 7 years into my corporate journey. So at that time, I was working for a bank, and they initially started a Toastmasters club there. I was a member initially, and they had this club contest, just like you are having this Gavel speak. We have the Toastmasters club, and we have club contest, and after that, we move into the area, which is a combination of a few clubs comprising of area, clubs, regions, and then after that, it's a division like maybe 1/6 or 7th of Sri Lanka, and then you move into the higher level. So I won the club level impromptu speaking, table topics. You are focusing on the speech, the prepared speech here. It's a shorter version. You speak on the given topic at that time itself. I won it at the club level. I was very new to Toastmasters, so I practiced a lot. And then I went to the area level. We had some other corporate institutions and some of my other club as well, because I was a part of this bank since I worked there. I was a member of the first club there, so I was dual member. I could not represent that club. Then it will be I'm betraying my own company, so I had to represent my own company. But they knew it. The same arena, I was not competing with them, but they were in a separate category, and we were enjoying the camaraderie. The previous day, I was seeing dreams as well, because I on the club level, I'm seeing all the positive things now. I'm practicing my positive visualization in the dreams just before going to sleep. I'm seeing that I'm going to the contest, I'm winning, and the following day, my flyer is going around the bank network, entire Sri Lanka. CEO coming to my department right in front of my boss's face. He's shaking my hands. I'm having a very bright smile, and everything goes in my heart. You need to have that positive visualization, right? It's a must. I was, going beyond the boundaries. I had that energy. I practice. If I had practiced that during my A-levels, I would have ended up being a ranked person, at least in my district, right? So I put that much of effort. I took 2 sick leaves, lying to my boss. The first day I got fever, second day I got diarrhea. I told that, but completed 2 days I was practicing. I don't know whether the related of that in this audience, but anyway, that's fine. I went to the audience, Sima Auditorium, Nara Hempira, huge one. You people wearing all the places and high corporate individuals in front of massive audience. I delivered it. I thought I did a marvelous job. It's because you have to have that self-confidence, right? I believed in it, the believability. So I was waiting for that. Now the moment of the announcement of results, 3rd place announced. I just adjusted myself. Name was announced. A girl went up on the stage, got the certificate, grabbed the trophy, posed for photos, went down. I was thinking, okay, she talked about this one, but I think I did much better job than that. So definitely second, right? Next one, history making moment. 2nd place announced. I just like this. I was just like this. Another girl went up on stage, got the certificate, grabbed the trophy, and posed for the photos, and went down. I was thinking, this is the moment, my dear friends. I will be all over the bank network tomorrow, right? That trophy will be mine. first place names was announced. I was almost ejected from seat. This boy, for somewhere, he just came, name was announced, went on the stage, got the certificate, grabbed the trophy, and posted the photos. And there was the other check as well. He went down. I was disappointed, dejected, disheartened, dismantled. You got all these verbs and adjectives, adverbs from DIS. There was all these things in my mind and heart. I didn't know what to do, honestly, right? My goodness, after putting all this effort more than my studies, what is the point of being a Toastmaster or being a public speaking, getting into this public speaking if I'm not getting at least a placement for my deserving performance? So I went up to the corner, the rightmost corner. If you have been there, it's the darkest spot. And I was very upset, disappointed. And yes, this my other friend from my home club, who went up on stage in a different category, won it complete right royal way, and moved to the division finals. Since he's my good friend and whom I consider as my mentor at that time, he came to me and he saw me, just grabbed my shoulder in his own way. He just shook my shoulder and said, "Machan, what's happened?" I'm just paraphrasing what he said. Bro, see, I think I did a good job, but ultimately I didn't get any placement. So, bro, you did a nice job. Fantastic. The way that you started with that salute, because it was about something I talked about, Mahatma Gandhi and Hitler, I just did the salute as well. So that was absolutely remarkable because you immediately had that connection with the audience. Lovely. I wouldn't have done that in that way. But Macha, you need to know there are two things. While appreciating all your hard work and all the superb delivery, that's the audience as well. Yes, judges are there. You need to have a good message at the end, a compelling message, that inspiration to the audience members as well, because you are delivering not only to you or the judges, to the audience as well. That's a part of your public speaking. Number two, whatever happens, enjoy your speech on the stage. Put your best, put your heart, soul, your speech. Whatever happens, that is immaterial, because the trophies, certificates are byproducts of your delivery, right? Accolades are byproducts. If you do a good job on that particular day, if you have good lucks and the stars alignment is good, that will come. But if you are not achieving your internal benchmark, and if you are not satisfied with your own achieving the benchmark, and if you are not enjoying yourself on stage, you are not within the speech, your best will not come out. Once your best will come out and you do a fabulous job while enjoying on the stage, whatever happens, you have that fulfillment within your heart. That will propel you to do much better and will not let you down from that point on. It was a complete eye-opener for me. My mindset of competing completely changed. It is not for the trophy. It is for far better reaching results, fulfillment, and realization. That was none other than Dhananjay Hettiarich back in 2014. And he just completely changed my life back then, being a very good friend. And since then, after a few months down in the line, with getting Dhananjay's advice and friendship, I was able to win the third place of the area contest in a different category, which I thought the most difficult thing. Right? So my humble request, the fourth point after the impact, is that whatever you do, put your heart, soul, and effort to this speech. Do your best, blend your best with it. And when you enjoy, your best will come out. When your best will come out, you have a very good chance of nailing it. When you nail it, you will definitely do a better job. Right? That is my wish for you. So with the organization, having the purpose in mind, knowing what are the ingredients that you need to include in your speech, and with that right mindset, if you do it, I'm pretty sure you will find all these Gavel organization or the Colombo University Gavel committee will find great speakers, hidden talents, hidden diamonds within the university whom you can take up to the next level. After cutting and polishing, they will be shining gems. All the very best. Thank you very much. I would like to wish you all the very best for all the contestants. Just do it and put your best, yes, and then you will come out being a very different person, just like me today, enjoying it to the best. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for the question and answer time.
Thank you, sir, for that enlightening session. And it was really engaging. And I hope that everyone got a really good insights and expertise from your session to incorporate them into their own speeches.
Thank you.
However, before we proceed into the Q&A segment, I would like to request everyone to turn on their camera to join for a quick screening.
Shall I remove my spotlighting so that? All right, it's done. Okay, fine.
It's fine.
Guys, stick around after the screening because we have the Q&A session coming up as well.
It would be great if all the participants can turn on their cameras.
Yes, I would like to see your faces as well. Who knows, I might be there.
On the count 3, I'll be taking the screening.
Sure.
1, 2, 3. Thank you, sir, and thank you all the participants.
Okay.
Now it's time for the Q&A segment. You can engage directly with DTM Moditha, and please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box, or you can unmute your mic if you like to speak directly.
Prashna, you know, Prashna. Let me see whether I can see the chat box. Yes.
Hi, sir. I have one question to ask.
Please.
This might be the slightest of possibilities.
Yeah.
Let's say now you're doing the speech and you feel like that you can't reach the timeline of 5 to 7 minutes, 5 minutes, and you feel like your speech is going to end before 5 minutes. What would you do in order to reach past 5 minutes?
Right. Very good question. Normal practical situation, right? Time duration is 5 to 7 minutes, just like normal international speech criteria, which 5th minute you will see the green light, 6th minute you will see the amber light or the indication, and 7th minute you will see the red light. Then, පස්වෙනි time speech ඉවර කරන්න ඕන කියලා ගන්න. Number 1, you need to practice. That is why practice rehearsing the speech will come very handy and very critical, crucial, because you okay, I know even after practicing things will go wrong now on stage. Let me come the first thing. When you practice for this the speech, you end up being stick to a particular timeline. It maybe around 6 or 6:30, right? Speech එක practice කරනකොට 6:00 අතර යනවා කියලා ඔයා දන්නවා. ඒකට ඔයාට assurance එකක් තියෙනවා. Since you have practiced, you know the words, you know what gestures or the organization structure, you have an idea. 5th minute එකේ මේ ටික එනවා, 6th minute එකේ මේ ටික ඉවර නැහැ. So once you have really practiced and rehearsed, you have the assurance that you will do it for sure. My suggestion is not put your speech to 7 unless, of course, you have thoroughly practiced and just like, imprinted your speech in your mind and system. මම ඒකට හේතුවක් කියන්නේ සමහරලාට අපි පටන් ගන්නකොට අපි ගෙදර ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන ස්පීඩ් එක නෙමෙයි අපි යන්නේ ස්ටේජ් එකේ. When you go on stage, when you see the audience and your vice chancellor and the faculty heads and all dean and your friends, judges, people, පොඩ්ඩක් slow එකේ පටන් ගන්න. ටිකක් රත් වෙනකොට තමයි ඇඟ ස්පීඩ් එක normal එකට එන්නේ, right? That will take good 30-40 seconds. Then your normal speed, not you are rushing it out, but when during the normal speech practice, you would have ended up with between like 6:30. Now on stage, it will go like 7:10. Chances are there. In the හතටම speech practice කළා ඒ content එකක් එච්චර ලොකුවට හදාගන්න එපා. මගේ request එක 6:30 would be a good safe margin. That's it, number 1. Number 2, it depends. It's not a rule. It depends. I have done speeches for like 7:25 spot on. yes, I had to, practice really hard, but that comes with experience. So my request is 6:30 would be a very safe zone, giving additional 30, 40 seconds, giving a provision for anything that happens on stage. Number two, imagine that you still practice and you feel that these things, the timing would look weird for you. But haritam වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. එතකොට ඔයා rush කරන්න එපා. Speed අර fast forward අර 1.5x එහෙම දාන්න හදන්න එපා. Speed කරන්න. It won't work, right? Maybe you can just drop 1 point. For that even you have to practice. අර හැමදේම ඔළුවේ තියෙන්න ඕනේ. You know, dropping this point or maybe just mentioning this point, you can go into the conclusion. That is one way of doing it. So the best way of avoiding such situation is to practice well. Practice කියන්නේ එක exhaustive විදිහට practice කරන්නත් එපා. ඒක මම ඒකේ physical පැත්තක්, mental and physical පැත්තක් තියෙන හැම වෙලෙම. මොකද අපි speech එක හොඳටම practice කරලා එපායන් තරම් practice කළාම ඔයා speech එක මතක් කරනකොටත් ඔයාගේ ඇඟයි ඔළුවයි ඒක reject කරනවා. It will reject your speech. It happened to me. Because the previous day on the contest, previous day of the contest, I was practicing. I felt really exhausted because I was excessively practicing it. So I took 1 day complete off and then only I moved to that, right? There's a preparation part. So go into that and then practice. Then if you feel that you have reached time before you deliver main points, try to mitigate through the methods that I mentioned. If you have practiced that to 6:30, you have a chance of doing it. Practice කළාම ඔළුවේ හොඳට තියෙනවා කොතෙන්ද මේක වෙන්නේ කියන එක. ඒකයි අර ස්පීච් එකක් අපි හොඳට ඕගනයිස් කරලා ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරලා යන්න කියන්නේ. එතකොට ඒ ටයිම් එකේ තියෙන ඉෂුව එකත් එක්ක වට ප්ලේ කරන්න chance එක හම්බ වෙනවා මොන හරි එකක් ඉෂුව වුණොත්. සවිත් නේද? සවිත්ද ප්‍රශ්න ඇහුවේ?
Yes, sir.
All right, Savit. I hope that I gave you the answer. So
Yes.
try this. So try this. But once you practice, you do this as if you are doing it on the stage. Time කරලම කෙනෙක් ඉස්සරහා කරන්න. කවුරුද ඔයාගේ good family friend කෙනෙක් හරි කවුරු හරි මොනවා setup එක කරලා බලන්න. Then you will feel this, right? You will feel this real time scenarios, real world scenarios, and you can get rid of this situation. So my request is ඒක 6:30 වලට limit කරන විදිහට කරන්න. එතකොට අපිට පොඩි provision එකක් තියාගත්ත හැකි 30 seconds only if you are comfortable with that. If not, if you can do it for 7, that's totally okay. Timing වල නම් තියෙන රතු එක 7 ඉඳන් පෙන්නනවා until if you do it till 15th minute, that red will be there. එකම දේ එක light එකක් නම් okay. නැත්නම් අත උස්සගෙන ඉන්න කෙනාට මෙහෙම අර lamp post එකක ඉන්නනවා උස්සගෙන ඒක indicate කරන්නේ 7:30 reach උනායි කියලා. So that will be a disqualification criteria. Those rules and regulations will be given by the Gavel Club organizers. So practice and then you can avoid most of these situations and you have the confidence of doing it, right? Any other question? I think I got a question through chat, I think. Yes, very good question. Senumi. Any tips for formulating a humor-based speech that also gives a takeaway for the audience? Absolutely yes. Humor is a vital factor. Humor කියන්නේ හොඳම flavor එකක්. Speech එකක් දෙනකොට speech එකේ humor include වෙන්න ඕනේ. In the morning, and it's better, right? I'm a big fan of humor. That's why I make it a must. So automatically it came. Because so you see that when I'm doing this keynote or other workshop, I added certain humorous things, right? මම මේක full serious කළා නම් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මේක ටිකක් දුර යද්දී boring වෙනවා. I don't know, boring වුණාද දන්නෙත් නැහැ, මම එහෙම දන්නේ නැහැ. But I don't have any way of gauging it. But anyway, I here and there related humor මම crack කළේ. මම එකපාරටම jokes කළේ නැහැනේ out of this world ගෙනහල්ලා. මම ඒ context එකට අදාළ සන්දර්භයට අදාළ I used relatable, appropriate humor in a very professional way, which definitely you can share with the audience, which amplify the audience connectivity and the flavor. Humor is a vital flavor. It's completely ease of the audience. ඒගොල්ලෝ මාරිදි රද බඳ ගන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි don't make it excessive. නැත්නම් ඊට පස්සේ උක මේ comedy එකක් වෙනවා, stand up comedy එකක් වෙනවා. But you can have a humorous story and at the end you can have a humorous story. For example, I'll tell you, I won the second place of the entire division E back in 2016 or I can't remember 16. I just took my own traveling experience. I created real life experience. I added certain humorous things. එක කරන්නේ මෙහිමයි. දැන් හුඟක් අය අහනවා අනේ sir I don't have that humor bone within me. I don't know how to add humor. You don't have to have humor nerve or a bone. Right? Just thinking in a very different way, that's it. එදිනදා දේවල් ගැන පොඩි humorous විදිහකට හිතන්න. Right? එතකොට one key is exaggeration. One example I'll give you if I can take like 2 minutes. I was practicing for this contest in 2015. Being a banker, and I was an IT software engineer at that time. You know, being IT software engineer, you have a nice life. You know at what time you will leave home, but you will never know at what time you will leave office. Right? Early morning you will leave, and if you have not enough time or maybe just excessive workload, you will again leave around 11:30, 12, 1:30 is nothing for software engineers, especially working banks. Nice. So I was having this dual blessing. I knew what time I would leave, and I never knew what time I will be leaving the office. So how to practice? I went late in the night. I mentioned, or I just gave the message to my parents, just keep one door open. I'll go inside, grab something to eat, and come out because I can't shout and practice out loud. My brother and my father, my mother, they are sleeping. They're normal human beings, not like me. They are normal human beings, so they are sleeping. I'm a software engineer. I'm not sleeping in the night, right? So I'm a awakened person. So I came out. I wanted to came out. There was this solitary tree, which was just like me. I was not married back then. It was alone. I was alone. So that was the only friend that I had in the night. So rather than just shouting the speech out inside, I came out. I was practicing around this tree. The following day, my mother got an inquiry from the neighboring house saying, excuse me, I saw your eldest son was doing some kind of a ritual around this rambutan tree. Because I came out and I saw he was going rounds around the rambutan tree, and I know maybe it's very hard. The eldest is having a lot of huge work, right? You know, he comes so very frequently late in the night. No, you should send his horoscope to this astrologer to see what has happened. I think he has possessed a demon, because that is something that, you know, normally people do, going around the midnight, between 12 and 12:30 around in the courtyard. Now I had only 2 questions. Number one, what was that woman doing around 1:30 outside the home? I didn't know about it. And why did she tell that to my mother? She didn't know about my practice routine. Goes and on. Actually, what happened, I just came late in the night. 10 මාට විතර ඇවිල්ලා ටේ එකක් බීලා මම මැද මසාලේ මැද මිදුලේ ගහ ළඟ ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරා. ඕක මම ඔහොම කියන්නේ නැතුව I put a lot of exaggeration, created humor, right? It's relatable, exaggerated points through humor, and then finally my message would be, ladies and gentlemen, if you have the feel and if you want something to happen very badly, you need how to burn for that. If you are burning out for that, only the burning desire will be there. Then the light will come. Candle should burn to create the light. You have to put yourself into different situation, difficult situation, taking it outside sometimes at the home, not inside home. You have to come out from your comfort zones and deliver it. See the message. මම ඒක මා විදිහට message එක through දුන්නා. කොහොමයි humor එක create කරන්නේ. But that's a separate session. If you take me, how to add humor, the delivery of humor, creation of humor. But simply, that is how you do it. Have some humorous story, that's okay. Or within your story, have some humorous flavor, that's fine. But should be relatable, content එකට ගැලපෙන, appropriate, and quality humor, not bad jokes, not inappropriate jokes. Please avoid that, right? Normally this I went to the washroom when I was about to කියලා තියෙන සමහර අපි අහලත් තියෙනවා මේ ගියාම මට හරි අමාරු නෑ ඒ වෙලාවේ එතකොටම කෝල් එකක් ආවා. That's okay, but we have heard all these bathroom jokes and some a category එක එච්චර යන්න එපා, because you are the next future of Toastmasters, definitely, right? And the next category or the generation of orators, just go for that with quality humor, and then finally add that compelling punch, so people would love it. Pretty elaborated answer, but I hope that you got the essence of it. All right, send me. Go with humor. Any more?
So I have a question.
Absolutely.
So like when delivering speeches, like how important is it to use hand gestures and other physical movements? Like, and when like normally when delivering a speech we can practice, and are there like any key facts like we should involve when putting these physical movements and hand gestures?
Absolutely vital. Body language and vocal variation. Why? You know, if you take the entire communication, right? Let me take it like, yeah. Yes, did a little bit of calculation here. Now, if you take entire communication, divided into three parts, like words, actually the content, the word of yours, it can be speech or the keynote or whatever. And then how you say these words, and how you say these words, and your body language, non-verbal communication. වචන ඒ කියන්නේ content එකේ ඒව කොහොමද කියන්නේ, vocal variation in other words, right? And the body language. What are the percentages? මේ world research එකක් කළා මේක හොයාගෙන තිනවා, සමහරට දන්නවත් ඇති. Word there, it was there in කාලෙක නම් මේ statistics තියෙනවා. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ගත්තොත් වචන කියන විදිය vocal variation එක body language එක. සමස්තයක් ගත්තොත් speech communication එක percentages කොහොමද කියලා දොවා හිතන්නේ. Just give me some rough idea ප්‍රබන්. Like body language මේ percentage එක. Words මෙච්චරයි. Vocal variation, how you say these words මෙච්චරයි. කොහොමද යන්නේ? idea එකක් දෙන්න. 33 ඒ වගේද? 30 40 Just guessing game, that's it.
I guess words take a more percentage.
Okay, and then
the non-verbal part.
Non-verbal part, and after that, vocal variation. How you say the words, right? Right, hold your breath. Hold your breath. Or right there. Words count only 7%. Okay. How much?
7%.
Right. How you say this word, only 38%. Hear that? See it is that time. 55% body language. Non-verbal communication. Why? People create connection, get the idea while listening and mostly looking at it. People are visual people are there largely, right? Body language is an essential part of the delivery. Gestures can nothing. Boring, right? How much ever I do a lot of things with the content, it's pretty boring, right? Imagine now, if I do this here, it's okay, but confined to the screen. On stage, not useless, right? So you have to give meaning through your body language, gestures, facial expressions, right? Movement, move with purpose. Right? There can be several segments in your speech. You have to move accordingly. You have to practice that. Vocal variation, up and down, sadness, expectation, enthusiasm, suspicion. This is what you need to do on stage. This is on what you have to practice. Delivery part. One tip for you. When you do this, you have dialogues and conversation in your speech script. You are writing a script. So you mark where the vocal variation. Here the voice goes up. Here voice goes down. Here something like this. Here you have indication, right? I move to the center of the stage. I move to the left of the stage, right of the stage. I come in front and, open palm gesture. I make this commitment to the audience. At the end, I give that punch in the sense, I'll give that compelling conclusion with that positive body gestures. ඒක තියාගත්තම ඔයාලට ඔළුවේ තියෙනවා. So body language and vocal variation, absolutely vital. That will give the meaning to your words, and also it will help you to people to understand and grasp your speech more into their hearts and souls. And remember, that is one major criteria in your ballot paper as well for judges, right? They will mark how your body language and the vocal variation in the content as well. So I hope, Vinupa, if you can, probably you would have shared the ballot sheet or rather the judging criteria of the percentage with the audience or rather the contestants.
Yes, sir. The evaluation
All right,
criteria
sir.
has been shared.
Absolutely. Please go through that. Whatever said and done, that is the judging criteria. You have to play for that as well. Good question,
Thank you,
probably.
sir.
Yes.
Yeah, hi, sir. Yeah, I want to ask a question with regards to your opinion about using props when it comes to doing public speaking. What is your opinion about using props, and how do you identify what is the most appropriate prop that you could use?
Good question. It depends on your speech and the speech purpose, the content. මම අර ස්පීච් එකක් කළා කිව්වා එක වෙලාවක මම ඒ මගේ ඔයගලන් කිව්වේ I did a speech on my daily travel routine. So I had the bus board and the ticket machine, and those things were my props. Key thing is, when you are arranging props, you don't have to show them on the stage, right? It should come at that particular point. Props, you can use, even without props, you can do speech. If there is an value addition to emphasize the points, to create audience connection and create that, you know, extra flavor with that prop. Prop එක පාවිච්චි කරලා we can give the meaning. තව understand කරන්න ලේසි ඒ prop එක පාවිච්චි කරනවා. So that is part of public speaking, right? When you are using a prop, there are a few things that you need to know. It should be visible enough, right? මොකද පොඩි දෙයක් බලලා, see, I found this. Look what I found on that day on the table. Found කෙනාට පේන්නේ නැතු කොහොමද audience එකට පේන්නේ, right? It should be at least a photo of it, right? මෙච්චර තල්පෙන්නක් පෙන්නලා කරන්න බෑ. I'm just, you know, sharing something. So you have to, it should be visible, and you need to be very comfortable with that. You have done your homework with that, using it, how to use it, how to keep away, and how to take it. So prop, it should be visible, it should be appropriate, and it should be comfortable to you. Next thing, it should not be there right from the beginning. Then people, right, there are 3 things on the table and speak is coming up. He'll be using that bow, and he'll be using that arrow, and he'll be using that axe. You don't have to show it, right? It should come as a surprise to give that extra flavor and the suspicion and the value addition at that particular moment. So you can just keep it on backstage and just behind the curtain. The sergeant at arms or the logistic manager will definitely help you out. So he will arrange the props. He will keep it there. It is not contestant. Contestant should, I think, the logistic person will be helping all the contestants who will be using props, right? And keep it there particularly. Some people, they take a box and keep it on the stage to the corner, and they take certain things as appropriate time to time. Once you take that one, once that part is over, just keep it somewhere else. I mean, appropriately, you put it inside the box, so maybe you can just talk backward and keep it and come. නැත්නම් ඔක මොකක් හරි එකක් use කළාට පස්සේ බෝතලයක් වගේ එකක් තියාගෙන මේක අතේ තියාගෙන කතා කරන විවරණකම, it kills the purpose, it kills your speech. You have to get rid of the prop after its appropriate usage. If you are taking it at the end to re-emphasize the fact, you need to put it somewhere that you can easily reach and get. මේ බෝතලේ අරගෙන මොකක් හරි මේ ඔරලෝසුව අරගෙන මොකක් හරි ඊට පස්සේ මේ කොහේ හරි පැත්තකට විසි කරනවා. අන්තිමේදී අරගෙන කියනවා, so I remember this watch given by my grandfather. කියන watch එක හොයනෝ නෑ. You are trying to find it everywhere, you can't find the watch. You are right. So key things, if you are using a prop which is good, but it's not an essential part. Must නෑ. සමහර speeches වල you don't have to use a prop at all. That's fine. If you think it is important to have the extra advantage or the flavor, find a good one, visible one. It should be comfortable with you. We should have, we need to do a lot of homework. The proper practice should be taken at the appropriate time, and you need to be very familiar and trially inform where you are going to keep it, and inform the logistic person as well, and get rid of after the appropriate usage, or keep it somewhere else if you are taking it again within your reach, without distorting the audience connection, and also without focusing the audience connection afterwards, killing the connection with your speech, remainder of your speech, right? I hope you got a good idea.
Yeah, yes, thank you so much.
Watch Dhananjay's speech, how he handled the rose and how he
Yeah,
takes it,
exactly. Yeah,
right?
yeah, yes.
He can't,
Yeah.
he's not putting it on තැනක තියලා එයා ගන්නත් ආයේ පිටිපස්සේ ලස්සනට යනවා. Needs practice. Yeah, sometimes you can put it in the pocket, inside the pocket if it is required, that's fine. But remember in which pocket that you put it, otherwise kata speech එක මේක බලනවා. So it happened to one of my friends actually. He was going through the pockets. Fortunately, he had a lot of things to make it, and he made it up. And while I'm reaching out to this pocket, because I couldn't find it, I reach out this pocket. Still, I can't find this. I reach out to my trouser pocket. Here you go. Just like that. If you want to keep people, make sure that you keep people in the right pocket in your life. එහෙම එකක් තිබුණේ නැහැ. ඒක ඒලා ඉම්ප්‍රොවයිස් කරලා ගත්තා. මොකද මිනිහට හොයාගෙන බැරුණා මොන සාකුරද දැම්මේ කියලා. පොඩි කපටි කමකුත් තියෙනවා. So improvisation is also another advantage that you can practice if you are really good at it.
So my question is, since for a competition like this, you need to know your strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
So what is one way that we can evaluate our own strengths and weaknesses? So, we can work on our weaknesses and maybe amplify our strengths.
Absolutely. Number one, just one thing I need to check with Netmi or anyone who's there from the Gavel. Have these participants been given mentors or the coaches or whatever, who have the people to, train, or just to associate with them and train?
Yeah, so for the preliminary round, we have not yet associated any coaches, but once they move into the semifinals, there will be some more mentoring sessions as well.
Absolutely. So initially, first stage, do a SWOT analysis on you. As a speaker, if I have done speeches, you can do a good analysis. Okay, I have done speeches. I'm really good at my vocal variation. I'm struggling when I'm delivering emotional content. Adding story or humor is my weak point. If not, you write the script, and then if you find it very difficult on your own to identify what is my strong area, what I'm lacking. So you can always reach out to that mentor or the person who is expert in this area, who will be allocated by the Gavel Club for that sole purpose. Reach out to him or her. Definitely he or she will be helping it out. Because if you are a beginner, it's somewhat difficult for you to identify on your own to the expected scale, as to find a solution for that, and how would you want to rectify it, because your gauge would not be the same gauge given by the mentor. So he or she will be telling you, this is what you need to do after discussing with you. So do a SWOT analysis first. That is on you, right? I'm good at this. These are my weak areas. These are my strong areas. These are my opportunities, because I can incorporate these opportunities. Threats, I'm afraid of audience. Have that SWOT analysis first, and then go with take this, and then you can work with your mentor in the sense the person who will be helping you out. If you have done previously at least 1 or 2 speeches, you know what's the experience like for you to go on stage and deliver, what went wrong and what you could have done much better. And then based on that, from that particular base, you can move forward with the mentor, right? That's a very good thing that you have appointed mentors and coaches for each stage. Definitely you can gain a lot. It's a very good move. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you, sir.
All right, my pleasure.
That was an incredibly insightful workshop, sir. And I'm sure everyone would agree when I say that your words were not only inspiring, but also extremely relatable for all of us today, and definitely brought mind to the grit and spirit that is needed when we do need anything, including public speaking.
Yeah.
On behalf of the Gavel and all the participants, we would like to present a virtual token of appreciation by expressing our deepest appreciation today for your presence here, as well as for sharing your insights with us despite your busy schedule. Thank you so much once again, DTM Moditha.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gavel Club of the University of Colombo. Wish you all the very best for all your work, and I'm pretty sure that you will nail this, because you are not only giving the opportunity for the speakers and the people who would like to aspire a speaking journey within the university, and you might find valuable assets. I'm pretty sure about that. So all the very best. Very best to the participants as well.
Thank you, sir.